411 Calisthenic Lifestyle Podcast, where we bring you tips and tricks to improving your calisthenic practice to get you faster results you deserve. Episode 12, 411 Calisthenic Lifestyle Podcast Show. Episode 12, Calisthenics, the New Age of Fitness. A book review by George Hit Richards. Hotep, I am that I am. Some call me Haru, your modern monk, your cannabis fitness strategist. Back at it again, live and direct. Every week we have a new show via book reviews or just on a subject matter that has been definitely kind of incognito, or at the present moment, as we would say. So let's dive right into it. I live by the 4D system: drive, dedication, discipline, and determination. My motto is, I challenge you to challenge yourself, because in challenging yourself, there is no loser, only a winner, you. Unquote. George Hit Richards. Calisthenic Kings at its finest. Now let's dive into this particular book review. Interesting subject matter. Obviously, what this podcast is really about is calisthenics, body weight exercises, and how to utilize your body, health, mind, body, and soul. So, who is this book for? This book for those individuals, the new novelists, those who's actually truly calisthenic body weight exercise enthusiasts, who's really want to take their game to the next level. This particular book is for those who are actually interested in a certification aspect approach of it, as well as just understanding how the body works within your particular modality. And it's basically basic. It's basics when you're talking about calisthenics and body weight exercises and how it improves your body, how it understands the mindset, the history, etc. This book is basically supported by the fitness professional industry, a certified as a certification as well. You go through a certification exam as well, and is backed by NASM, ISSA, and NCSF. And you can look up those definitions and whatnot, particularly certifications or certified certifications throughout your particular gym membership or particular gym associated with those particular personal training certifications. Who is this book not for? Individuals that are hobbyists, part-timer, athletes, people who are just novelists to an extent, who don't really care about what is really going on with their most of the people who actually are interested in calisthenics are not necessarily into it. They're more body weight or body builders, want to be in the gym, meatheads, as they would say. This is some of the things I think what really, you're not really into health, you're not really into fitness, but you really don't really care, in other words, what this book may have for you. But at the same time, it's definitely something to look into for those of you who are not involved or want to be involved, because your body is the one most important tool you'll ever have and you'll ever be with forever. Until you pass, until you die upon this earth, period, point blank. So let's dive into it. So the title of this book is Calisthenics, the New Age of Fitness. Author George Hit Richards. Now, who is George Hit Richards? CalisthenicKings.net or Calisthenic Kings affiliation. He's a fitness enthusiast, an influencer. He focus points. He's been a certified fitness trainer in New York over 10 years and plus. He has well over 15 international certifications. That's international, located in New York City. He's an interesting cat. I've been able to have the opportunity to build a relationship with Hit. It's been an honor to be able to connect with the brother, kind of fill out some of his philosophy and where his mindset is when it comes to calisthenics, when it comes to body weight, when it comes to lifestyle in general, how he conducts his way of life in period in general. Let's dig deeper into the book now. This is a book review, and we want to really get down and deep in the book. Basically, this book is a manual for his certification that he offers you, and it's the Elite Calisthenics Specialist program. And what's cool about it, let's talk about it. What's the front cover look like? Obviously, you can see that if you watching my video aspect of it on YouTube that I provide. You'll have all the bonuses and all the websites down here in your descriptions here placed on this podcast and whatnot. But Calisthenics, the New Age of Fitness, George Hit Richards, and it just have a picture of the brother on front of the cover with the bar in hand, putting it down. Then, okay, what do the back cover state? The contents of the back covers. Calisthenics, the Age of Fitness by George Hit Richards. Calisthenic exercises have been a part of physical training for thousands of years. This comprehensive guidebook presents an all-exclusive look at many aspects of bodyweight training. Then and now, find out about the history of calisthenics, from the ancient Greek Olympians through the strongmen of the 1950s to the extreme sport competitions of today. Discover the numerous benefits of calisthenics and why it is better form of exercise than popular weightlifting. Learn about all the major muscle groups and which techniques work which areas of the body. Find out how to perform dozens of different exercises, from beginner knee push-ups to the elite dragon flag, and see firsthand how they're all done with dozens of detailed color photos throughout calisthenics. That New Age of Fitness is an ideal book for the novice exercises, for the trained athlete, and for those interested in becoming a certified fitness trainer. It is the ultimate guide for elite calisthenics specialists. Now, as we continue, let's go inside the contents of the book. So, introduction, preference, acknowledgments. Introduction, Chapter 1, History of Calisthenics. Chapter 2, Benefits of Calisthenics. Chapter 3, Calisthenics Terminology. Chapter 4, Muscle Groups. Chapter 5, Calisthenic Exercises. Now, let's go into this. Focus point number 1 that was very clear to me. It was clear and to the point. That's what I do love about particular books. That's not all bulky and fluffy and got all this extra stuff that you really don't need when it comes to getting right to the point. That's been the problem with books in general, period. In the last few decades, we have had this fluff extra stuff that we really don't need, and this is what's so good about this book, because it gets right to the point. You know what I'm saying? No ifs, ands, or buts. The exam questionnaire is a multiple choice. It's like 100 questions, so it's right to the point. Get in, get out. It's a very very comprehensive, very understanding, far as very clear, written very well. When you're talking about simplicity, right to the point, no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Focus point number 2 that I really liked about this book is easy to read. Few hours, focus hours to study and be ready and prepared for the exam. So it don't take no long, I figured a good 3 hours at the most. Good 3 hours, you can have an understanding of what this book actually, the contents of this book, and what it's actually going to give you. Focus point 3, it is the only, let me repeat that, it's the only certification or certified certification calisthenics program out there right now. You know what I'm saying? I haven't seen nothing else available. I mean, they've been saying a few places like Al Cavavlo and the Dragon Door program, but that's not a certification. It's a certification, but it's not as certified. It doesn't have the credits that you're looking to get far as to be able to utilize your program or this elite calisthenics specialist program within particular gyms. Box gyms per se are those particular who are looking for certifications prior to going into these particular gyms. The one thing I advocate with Calisthenic Kings or Hit Richards particular exam is you're doing your own game. You're doing your own personal training. You're setting up your own system, your own programs. You know what I'm saying? That's the approach where this book is actually focused on. It don't help out with marketing and other elements when it's come to that, or selling your particular services. That's the only downfall, I think, with this particular certification. And I think eventually, futuristically, he's going to definitely be thinking more on that element. He was actually sharing with me that he will be integrating more exercises format with the particular certification as well, to benefit you as a practitioner as well. So that was some of the things I would say on the particular points that stood out to me. So let's go deeper into the book. Some of the points that really stood out within the particular book itself. I like some of the philosophy. So introduction, we'll go deeper into the introduction. Some of the things that stood out to me that actually caught my attention: the psychomotor skills such as balance and agility and coordination. These are terms that actually, not just terms, but abilities that I think we all should have within calisthenics. What calisthenics actually bring to the game. Body weight exercise, it definitely brings in a more balance, agility, and coordination. And this kind of builds on what I was talking about with functional calisthenics. You know, the key element within exercises, I think, what weightlifting is different is that calisthenics bring a whole nother feature where you master your body weight. You master you before you dive into weightlifting or using other elements outside of you, if that makes sense. He breaks down the basic two types of calisthenic exercises: anaerobic and aerobic exercises, and what those activities may consist of. While there are similarities, calisthenics is quite different from yoga and gymnastics. And I would, say yes, they are different, but it's certain things that I think in those particular subject matters are definitely similarities. One thing about calisthenics, increase joint mobility. That's another element, to be able to focus in on. How much weight one can lift in a gym doesn't make someone fit and strong if they can't even move their own body around as is naturally intended. And that's a key, good point right there. Just talking about certain pinpointing of, a lot of people can lift 350 pounds, but then can't even do a pull-up. You can't even do 20 push-ups. You know what I'm saying? But you can lift the gym out of the wall. Lift everybody up out of the gym, but you can't even do a normal push-up or just a regular push-up. It's kind of interesting. Then he mentions in here the gimmick: gain a lot of muscle, inner strength, and power. That's one of the things about calisthenics. It gives you more inner strength. More inner strength within yourself. Then he breaks down the the Greek language of the Greek language, or the root to calisthenics, what it means. It's obviously Greek orientated. The term comes from Greek. Kalos means beauty, and sethos means strength, beautiful strength. One of the other elements he talks about when you're talking the history, this is chapter 1, going into the history of calisthenics. He talks about the Shaolin monks in China and whatnot, and how they perform. And one of the things I like about this particular book too, as well, just to add, is that it's simple. The key thing is he's not making anything up. That's the thing. He's not making anything up to make it fluffy, because all the things he talking about, history and whatnot, these are actually been written down. This actually is right there in front of you. It's just we have gotten away from history. We're not learning from it. Let me say it like that. We're not learning from history. We got to take what we can from history, but at the same time adjust and make things, more adaptable or attainable. One of the things too I would like to add, Hit Richards was one of the pioneers. I wouldn't say he invented calisthenics or anything, but he was one of the pioneers in early 2009, where he was expressing some things in the calisthenic world. When you talk about a fitness channel or a YouTube fitness channel, he was expressing that around 2009. Not just him, but many other brothers and sisters during that period of time. When, remind you, YouTube was only 3 years old. 2006, 3 years old. 2006, 2009, it was only 3 years old, and it was only a few people who was actually utilizing the fitness channels on YouTube as well, had a fitness channel, and that was keep it real with you, Scooby was one of the first back then who actually started the fitness aspect or approach when it comes to YouTube. And Calisthenic Kings and his organization, they was definitely foundation and got a lot of popularity through that aspect and popped it off. And you can tell, I'm not making anything up. This has all been shown. It's all been written. So I'm not making nothing up. So Hit was one of the first, I'm not saying he invented calisthenics, but he was one of the first to promote it on YouTube, where people seen it and like, oh yeah, let's get it rocking again. Because we fail to realize these particular exercises and events were actually done for training or testing in our elementary schools once upon a time. Ooh, I'm taking y'all back. Okay. So let's get into it. So then he breaks down the Greeks and the Persians, where they was doing the Spartans, and how they was very physically fit on a calisthenic bodyweight exercise. Then we break down the Romans. And he goes into a little history of physical training, as far as this was one of the elements to these steel clubs. That is definitely something similar to our kettlebell techniques as well. So he was breaking down Indian club training, as they, and they've been using it for over 5,000 years, maybe more. We don't really know the history when it comes to that. They claim this is 5,000 and this is 10,000 and all that, but at the same time, it's been written down. We don't know historically because we wasn't there, but then at the same time, it's just an understanding. So breaking it down. So the Australians, he break down some of their techniques in calisthenic training. Strongman, then he started breaking down the history of strongman, where that started coming into the late 1800s and going into the 1900s, and breaking down when you had Jack LaLanne and many other different from Luke Ferrigno to Mr. Schwarzenegger and all them other great particular meatheads, even though all respect to them as far as developing weight training and whatnot, and how that kind of got away from calisthenics or bodyweight exercises. Interesting enough. So he goes right into the military, how the military uses and promotes calisthenic techniques, running the 2-mile, push-ups, sit-ups. Now my cousin was breaking down that they're going to be adding like kick-ups or knee-ups with their pull-up aspect, working on them abs, getting them abs. That's one of the part of the tests they're going to be doing within the military. So that's another brilliant technique that they're going to be bringing in, because now we got all these Spartan, the mutter and all these other elements that you definitely need to have your calisthenics techniques on point, your body weight, to be able to make things happen. And CrossFit is funny too, because CrossFit similarly, I wouldn't say is there, but at the same time it's definitely sparked some things, but they're using weights to kind of injure themselves, let me say it like that. So he breaks down calisthenics today, and he gets more into the popularity of different athletes around the country, around the world, who's doing certain things, and how to go to build inner strength, self-awareness, self-esteem, and improve overall body strength and conditioning through calisthenics. Then he breaks down his 4D system, as I repeated, or as I quoted in the first aspect of this podcast. The 4D system: drive, dedication, discipline, and determination. My motto is to challenge you to challenge yourself, because in challenging yourself, there is no loser, only a winner, you. So we dive into benefits of calisthenics, chapter 2. So balance of calisthenic workout challenges the body, moving from one muscle group to another. And that's what's so beautiful about calisthenics, because it's more of your full body. You're activating your full body instead of one body part per se, even though you can section it out throughout your week per se. Calisthenics also improves flexibility and mobility and endurance throughout your particular training. Bodyweight exercise help increase your metabolism. These are particular standouts that caught my attention. Greek warriors, Roman gladiators. So he talks about them. Doing a bench press or a leg curl won't get you close to the same kinds of results of pushing stationary objects or mountain climbers. And he's got a great point there, because one of the things, like I said, with bodybuilding or weight training, most of weight training is to look good. That body, particular muscle group to look good. That's basically what bodybuilding is. What calisthenics is actually being able to have the health, the beauty, the fitness within that particular muscle group in itself, full muscle group or full body. One thing he breaks down is no cost. One of the best things about calisthenics that you won't need to empty your wallet to do them. And that's a beautiful thing. You can do everything within your privacy of your own home with you don't even need no equipment, just your body. That's body weight. But most of your money should be spent on basics: comfortable workout clothes, good pair of sneakers, and fresh nutritious food. Like he said, place and time. Calisthenics can be done anywhere, whenever you choose to do them. Okay. No need to waste valuable time driving to a gym after work and then waiting in line to use a popular weight machine. Then he breaks down muscle mass, improving tone all over the body, and increasing muscle mass causes metabolic. I can't even talk. Your metabolism rate to raise. This increased heart rate is another sure way to burn off fat. Varied routines include sit-ups, push-ups, squats, lunges, jumping jacks, crunches, dips, chin-ups, pull-ups, butt kicks, burpees, mountain climbers, and many other elements. Increase resistance level. Tell you if your form is correct or provide a good moral support. And that's what he was breaking down, having somebody as a partner, workout partner if you need it. But one thing about what's cool about it, you can use your video camera as your workout partner to help you on your form and whatnot. That's another thing I don't think people really talk about or express, what's so cool about videotaping yourself doing these particular exercises and whatnot. Simple exercise, muscle mass, and strength increase in safe, natural manner, all which improves a person's joints, blood flow, and general health. For the average person seeking to build and maintain reasonable amount of muscle growth, calisthenics is an ideal method of exercise, but it's still ideal for the more serious bodybuilder as well. One thing about Arnold Schwarzenegger, he was known to do pull-ups, he was known to do push-ups, he was known to do certain leg exercise like sissy squats. Keep it real with you. Certain things that we tend to not think about. Even weighted dips. He did a lot of weighted dips, and many other bodybuilders. Don't get it twisted. I'm just using Arnold as an example. Flexibility. The stronger you get, the more flexible you also get. In fact, stretching out your skeleton during the exercise, such as pull-ups, can improve your posture and often help prevent key back problems. For instance, the average person can burn over 800 calories during an hour of jumping rope. See, and that's the beautiful thing about, you don't have to have all these tools that people advocate, especially when it comes to a gym. Oh, I need a treadmill, I need this, I need that. You can do everything within yourself, body weight, period. You know what I'm saying? It's just about how you use it with progressions or regressions or however you want to put it. One thing about calisthenics, it improves mental health, improves reducing stress, depression, anxiety, and keeps you in a positive state of mind most of the time. And that's all about it, the clarity, endurance. Circuit training calisthenics requires you to do as many repetitions of exercise as you can without resting. So it goes both ways, anaerobic or aerobic. Dehydration and fatigue. Make sure you get that water intake in there. Heart stroke. And avoid modified exercise that causes you pain and discomfort. See, and that's what's cool and beautiful about and any other exercises when you take it in. Weightlifting via CrossFit, whatever the case may be. However you look at it, you just got to take your time, build up your stamina, build up your technique, build up your repetitions, developing muscle, increase the resistance, weighted vests, ankle weights, etc., parallettes. There's many other opportunities you can add when you're talking like weight training now. And they got all kinds of stuff now as far as body weight exercises, weights you can put on your body and this and that and make it happy and make it happy and make it happen. Better sleep, that's one of the things. You get more better sleep. Promote normal blood pressure and cholesterol levels. Confidence and self-esteem. That is one thing about calisthenics. It definitely make you feel more confident. Okay, quick summary of benefits of calisthenics. Improves overall strength and energy. No special equipment required. Improves immune system. So then we go into chapter 3, calisthenics terminology, and he breaks down different forms or different terminology that you have heard some of the terms and whatnot. Balance, blood pressure, boot camp, calories, cardiovascular, chin ups, coordination, core dips, head bangers for your triceps, L-sits, and exercise in which all body weight rests on the hands with the torso held in slightly forward leaning orientation. So these are very helpful, like I said, with those of you who are looking to get a certification or get certified as a calisthenic practitioner or specialist. This would be the idea manual, guidebook to go and get, literally. You can see all information is down below. Calisthenic Kings, calisthenickings.net. Respiratory system, back to terms, trainer. So then chapter 4, we get into muscle groups. This was cool too, because I like how he simply broke it down. He's not using all this scientific terminology, what kind of turns you off and you're like, what the, unless you're just into that type of understanding of how the body, kinesiology and anatomy and physiology of how the body works. You know what I'm saying? Unless you just definitely need the terms to get it down. He pinpoints 8 major muscle groups, 320 pairs, both sides of the body. So he breaks down the particular terms that you should be used to when it comes to like pectorials and upper back and not as scientific, breaking it down where the terminology kind of gets you off. So that's one of the things I like about the book, the abdominal, really talking about certain things, what's actually what you're actually using and what you're actually benefiting within that particular muscle group. And he breaks down some of the terms in there as well. So chapter 5, calisthenic exercises. So he started breaking down a particular program or resistance program that you actually can use. Muscle strength is best developed by performing low repetitions, 6 to 12. High resistance exercise, muscle endurance developed by high repetitions, 12. Low resistance exercise. Way to increase resistance, and he breaks down a little lists, and then he just talks about beginner exercises to immediate exercises to advanced exercises, and that was cool. And he got illustrations in here and talks about the benefits as well as the steps to take to meet these requirements, and it's basically that's pretty much it. To the point. The one thing, like I said, it's a few things I would think he would add in here. He's going to be adding add more exercise modalities where the practitioner himself, those who want to get certified, actually have to do a particular test, exercise tests or demonstration tests as well, where you add more value to this, where you can actually do the exercise, because that's one of the things about these trainers too. Most of these trainers can't do most of the exercises that they're teaching you how to do. You know what I'm saying? They got the nerve to tell you and show you how to do this and that, and it's kind of like an oxymoron. So the cool thing at the end of it, he actually breaks down particular workouts, from beginner to advanced level, what you should do and how you should do it, and what type of eating regimen. Not necessarily giving you what you need to eat, but giving you an idea, boundaries of what can be taken upon that. And at the end, it's so many variations. That's what's so beautiful about this particular calisthenic world, because there's so many options and opportunities that you can take your game to the next level and be on an elite, and mastering. That's the key thing, mastering, or focus in on what particular movements or body exercises that you're intending to attempt, and building a solid foundation. So what I like to do is conclude this as saying all respect to Hit Richards for doing this and looking for filling a gap that I think is really needed out there in the calisthenic world. One of the things, like I said, being a certified personal trainer and then going into calisthenics and really getting a more understanding why is calisthenics not the number one element when it comes to, getting really receiving a personal training certification. We should be talking more about calisthenics, building a foundation before we're pushing up any type of weight. You feel what I'm saying? Unless it's body weight. Master the body, then we can worry about mastering a 350 pound bench press or squat or deadlift or however you want to do. And it's kind of interesting too, because we talk about this all the time in all these, even the 4-hour body and all that, the kettlebell or the, deadlifts and whatnot. We don't really talk about mastering the body. You know what I'm saying? What we all should be doing. In other words, like I said, respect to Hit Richards and respect to all of you who actually have received and accomplished this particular certification out there, because I'm one of them too, and I appreciate what Hit has done and what he is working on improving and getting people to, step up the game. That's the key thing. Step up your game. When it comes to calisthenics, not just calisthenics, but your fitness, health, mind, finances, spiritually, everything have to step up. We have to become the greatest in general. Build a legacy. Hotep, I'm out. Peace. Thank you for tuning in.